First of all, introduce myself because I don't have PowerPoint presentation. I'm an academic. I'm working now at Technical Data Collection and Social Work in the University of Bucharest. But between 1995 and 2008, I worked with the Research Institute for Quality of Life in Romania. I work a lot in research, particularly the research on Roma settlement, and I will start a little bit my presentation with a little bit history in order to understand why we have this situation in Romania. Perhaps most of you are aware about the fact that Romania has the biggest Roma population in Europe, and you will see during my presentation the figures. And maybe you know that prior of 89, the churches took policy for increasing the birth rate in Romanian population was not applied also for Roma people. And the particular policy of communist period was to assimilate, but not to integrate the Roma. And I think that is not necessary to develop the distinction between assimilation and integration. And also not to create homogeneous areas with concentrated Roma households. So communist policy tried to widespread all these households, and we can imagine why. Of course, that at the moment of 90s, we didn't know the number of Roma population was a political subject. All the minorities in Romania in the communist period was a kind of hidden subject. In fact, the last census in the communist period was in 77, so we have no clear information about the ethnical composition of Romanian population. In 92, we have the first national census, and we have a surprise. Only about 3,050 Roma population, but the feeling was that there are more. And at that moment, the Research Institute for Quality of Life started research. I remember I was a student in that period, and I collected data in the territory, but they didn't happen to count the Roma population, but also to describe, to have a kind of socio-economic profile of the Roma population. And it was a huge surprise. The report, the name of the report was Gypsies Between Worry and Ignorance, because it was a matter of worry, but also at the public level, at the political level, was the issue of ignorance. What the report said, on the one hand, they describe the level of education of various generations, grandparents and children, the status of health. For example, we discovered that the children coming from families where mother has a very low level of education are dropping out of school, and the rate of illiteracy is high. So we know that in Roma families, the children are centered around the mother because the father is somewhere around trying to make money and so on. And if the mother is illiterate, then the performance in education, school, and dropping out of pupils is higher. Was an important step, but Romanian authorities, Romanian government didn't take action in order to have a global picture and to develop, of course, policies, because we don't need a global picture about Roma phenomena only just to know for academic purposes, but also to develop programs and policies. With the support of Soros Foundation in 1998, also the Research Institute for Quality of Life developed a methodology to collect data at the national level, of course, about the Roma population, and also had the support of three big universities: University of Bucharest, University of Cluj, and Iași. And we developed a new methodology in order to find out how many Roma we have in Romania, but also to have the possibility to make comparisons with the national situation. It was a long discussion about the methodology, but this research produced, let's say, information about the number of Roma population in Romania, which is used also in governmental papers right now. It's important, the methodology, how to count the Roma. Self-identification, attributed or hetero-identification, we used both. I don't want to talk about too much about the details of the sampling, because all the time the researchers know that the sampling is a hot issue, and the results depend very much by the sampling. But we selected a couple of hundreds of election area. We have around 13,000 election area in Romania, 300 cities, 2,700 localities, which comprise around 11,000 villages. Each one is an election area, and we selected. And then the field operators went to these localities and contacted primarily the informal and formal leaders of Roma population, if in that community are. And talking with the informal leaders, they identified the potential Roma population in that community. So no one else, not a Romanian, asked, what do you think about this person? It's Roma or it's Romanian? No. Roma leaders identified. Also, in questionnaire, the people interviewed had the possibility to say if they are Roma or they are not Roma. The results were impressive. 90% of the hetero-identified Roma population self-identified. 2% didn't identify them as Roma, even their leaders say, of course, that this is a Roma, and 8% were mixed families. Here is a problem. If a Romanian is married with a gypsy woman, Roma woman, what do you consider? It's a mixed family, it's Romanian, or it's Roma family. And that was the situation. After that, we discovered that in Romania we have around 1.6 million Roma people. But it seems that also it's underestimated right now, this figure, because this research was done in 1998, and now it seems we have between 2 million and 2.5 million Roma population, so it's the biggest. That means around 10% of the Romanian population. Who was interviewed? The head of the family. Of course, that in each family, especially Roma families, they know who is the head of the family. We collected data in communities which have 20 or less households, data about all the households in communities. If there were more than 20 families, then we applied the statistical step and statistical procedure. And we collected data about all the members, especially education, age, gender, profession, and so on. It's interesting the fact that the report was published in 2002, 4 years later, year in which we produced the second census in Romania. And the census from the 2002 say that there are only 500,000 Roma population in Romania, according with 1.6 million figure of Research Institute for Quality of Life. In this point, it was another question in the morning, what's wrong with the Czech statistical office? And my question is, what's wrong with the Romanian office for data collection? What's wrong with the Bulgarian or all the data collection? Maybe it's nothing wrong. They don't have the methodology, or sometimes or very often the Roma people are afraid to say, okay, I'm Roma, what happened next? For example, in '98, I collected data in 4 or 5 localities in Romania, and the people literally will say, why are you asking me about ethnicity? You want to send me to book in Siberia, like in Antonescu World War, Second World War period? I say, no, of course. Okay. What's next? Of course, that we have close collaboration with non-governmental organization, Roma non-governmental organization. Since '95, we have special places for Roma children, Roma students in our faculty, and they are going in Roma communities, working with Roma. We have also Roma facilitators for health issues and education issues in order to better integrate them. Also, National Roma Agency, governmental body which is acting since the Roma decade in 2005, developed some policies, and time is running out. Thank you.